Ahoy VC, welcome to My Guitar Player 07. Coming at you to enter a contest entry for Isaac over at the BLind IsLind, his 217 contest. Now, I assume that's for the amount of subscribers he got. He did not state that in the video, but I assume he did. He had it involving recent finds, and he announced a contest at the end. So, due to the fact that I assume it is for the subscriber count, congratulations, Isaac, on that great milestone. Isaac is one of those people in the VC who me and him have started becoming good friends here and been exchanging some text messages and all that stuff. And of course, you guys have all seen our collab video, and if you haven't, you could go check that out. And all fun stuff. So without further ado, let's get to it. So, 2, 1, and 7. So first, for the 2, he wants us to show 2 albums by the same band with very different sounds. And I thought that this would be very appropriate because since Isaac is on his BLind IsLind, I figured we should go Sail Away. And Come Sail Away is a song by Styx off the album The Grand Illusion. Now, Styx is a prog band, and it's considered to be that cheesy prog, but I still think it's damn good music. And this is actually a club pressing, and this is their 1977 album, and it had hit Foolin' Yourself as well as Come Sail Away. Now, compared to this, compared to Kilroy Was Here, completely different sounds. Still same general idea, but you take in between albums like these like Paradise Theater, and it has a mixture of both of these. It's as if it was predicting what was to come in the 80s. And this was 1983? Yes, 1983. Paradise Theater was 80, this was 77. And, you know, you could just even compare Fooling Yourself to Mr. Roboto. Not only is the production completely different, and in part because of the way the production was going within the 80s, but, you know, it has a whole kind of dance vibe, for lack of a better way to put it, within this album. And upbeat tempos. I wouldn't go as far to call it like disco beats, but that's the closest thing I can compare it to at the moment. And, you know, this was just straight up 70s prog, and this kind of was like 80s dance music for it. Of course, this is a concept album. This is just a general album. But yeah, even if you compare, as I said, Mr. Roboto to Fooling Yourself. But both great albums. But if I must admit, if I was to choose a concept album that I am not too crazy about, it'd be this. But y'all know I'm a sucker for a concept album, and that's my answer for that. Second question is for the 1. A song under a minute long. Well, this actually took me a couple moments to think about. Notice how I didn't say minutes for the pun. But, you know, I figured it out. Because this was one of the first songs I came up with. But I was like, anything else? Because, you know, I like to show vinyl when I can, but also I have a very nice CD collection as well. So the next 2 I'm going to answer with CD. And I went with, this is a Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182. Let's bring that up close for you guys. Now, there's a song on here called Happy Holidays, You Bastard, which is probably the joke song on the album. Well, quite frankly, it is the joke song on the album. About 40-something seconds in length. And, yeah, just a wild tune. Final question would be 7. A song that you adore that is within 7 minutes or around the 7-minute mark. And I decided to go with the song Never Enough by Dream Theater from their album Octavarium. Now, if I win this contest, I will be buying this on vinyl record. This costs 21 bucks on vinyl record. The first place prize is $50 in a gift card form, and the second prize is $20 in a gift card. I have nothing against forking out that extra $1 to be able to get this on vinyl record. It's one of the cheapest Dream Theater albums to find on vinyl record, especially for a double LP, and I am needing this on vinyl record. Now, the song itself is only 6 minutes and 30 seconds, but in between all the songs on this album, on the CD version, on the physical format version, vinyl record, CD, and cassette, there's sound effects and nature effects and going in between the tunes which you don't get on a streamed version of it. You just get the song and that's it. Which is kind of an interesting touch to entice you to get the physical format. But the song Never Enough, and if you include the little sound effects that are at the beginning and end of the song, it is around 7 minutes in length. Now, let's go into this album as a whole for a moment. It's called Octavarium, so it has to do with the entire album. The way it's musically composed is around the 7 to 8 major keys of the piano. You got C major, D major, E major, F major, G major, A major, B major, and then 8 would bring it back to C. Now, each one of these songs goes up a key, which is really cool. So you start in whatever key that the intro of the album goes. The sound effects in between go up a half step in its tonality, and then this next song goes another half step into the next key. So it's really cool how this album is done like that. But the song Never Enough in itself is about how Dream Theater is putting their all into everything, and people just keep bitching and moaning at them about it, about everything. They have had, in the 90s, they had a lot of personnel changes. It wasn't until 1999 when they did the album Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, forward, until 2009. That was the most solid period of lineup changes. And then 2009 to present day, they have the current lineup change that hasn't changed. But throughout the 90s, it was changing a lot. And people are complaining. The very first lead singer, before they even had their first official album called Images and Words, because they don't really consider their actual first album, When Dream and Day Unite, that's not on streaming services. Dream Theater, for whatever reason, kind of disregards that album. And it had a completely different vocalist. I can't even remember the name of the vocalist at the moment. That's how much I even pay attention to it as a diehard Dream Theater fan. But it wasn't James LaBrie. James LaBrie came from the Images and Words to present day. And the keyboardist had a bunch of changes in it. And they keep trying to please the audience, because on the album Images and Words, there's a song called Metropolis Part 1. Dream Theater never planned to do a Part 2 to it. But fans kept going, where's Part 2? Where's Part 2? Well, so they ended up creating Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, which has nothing to do with the original song Metropolis Part 1, even though here and there are lyrical references to the original tune. But overall, Metropolis Part 2 has nothing to do with it. They just called it that to have the fans stop driving them insane. And that's just one example. They're like, oh, we don't like the new keyboardist, which at the time in 1999 would be Jordan Rudess. Well, were you really a fan of Dream Theater then, if you're going to complain about personnel changes? What about, and this is the heaviest kicker, people would complain about James LaBrie, which is the main vocalist through most of Dream Theater's career. They're like, oh, that original lead singer from When Dream and Day Unite, which I can't believe I can't remember the name at the moment of him. So, like, they're just like, this is enough and it's enough. We're just going to write song Never Enough and be like, everything is never enough, because they put their heart and soul into everything. So, it's a great tune. They show their passion of what they do, their frustration for literally a decade, because this came out in 2005, over a decade of people complaining, because Images and Words came out in like 92, 93. So, and they just kept getting a bunch of crap, and it's just nuts. So, but they keep going, and they still rock on. So people are just being annoying to them for stupid petty things, and, never enough. And that's as if people were to complain about the Beatles because, oh, they have Ringo Starr now versus the original guy. Like, who cares? The Beatles are still making music. Well, we're still making music and making history no matter what. Dream Theater, not to the same level, but you know what I'm saying. So, Isaac, I hope you enjoyed my entry, my friend. I always appreciate and enjoy what you put out. I always appreciate and love your support of me. And congratulations on your 217 subscriber milestone, because that's what I assume this is for. If you don't know who Isaac is at the BLind IsLind, you got to check him out. He will be below. Thank you guys for watching. Keep on spinning that wax, and I will see you in the next vinyl record video.